he's a focal point. Like Mike is right, it completely shifted. The dynamic shifted when he came in. There was just energy about the forward straight away, and he gives them that target to hit. And he's a leader. He wants the ball. He wants to get on ball. And I think when he turned that ball over for the goal, it just shows the kind of player he is. Like, he went for a goal. Galway needed, a point would have done, but he went for goal. He had the mindset to go for goal, and he would have took 20 of them on if they were there, because that's what was needed at the time. Like, he's a leader, he's a focal point, and he's absolutely vital to Galway.
The Maroon White Pod brought to you by CityLink. For bookings, timetables, updates and any other information, head to citylink.ie. Welcome along to the Maroon White Pod. Safe to say, Galway get out of jail in the Connacht semi-final at the weekend against Sligo. This week, I'm delighted to be joined by Moycullen senior football coach Kieran Murphy and former Galway footballer Mike Merton to look back on Galway's narrow victory over Sligo. Mike, coming to you first. Safe to say we definitely got out of jail at the weekend.
Yeah, Paul got out of jail, but once you look back on it, a win's a win at the end of the day, and Port would like it being in the kind of final in 2 weeks' time. And when you look back on it, we probably should have had the game out of sight at half time with the 3 goal chances we missed, and we probably left Sligo in the game. And it's fair to Sligo to put in a great 70 minutes, and they kicked some great scores, and I suppose they were just well coached, and it's probably like Galway coming to Markfish Park. It's probably like Sligo's All Ireland, like, it's like winning Sam to Sligo. So they were always going to bring their best performance after what happened last year's Connacht final. I think they lost by 13 points. So credit, as Park said after the game, credit to Sligo, huge performance. Them probably deserved their win, but Galway be delighted to get out of jail. And look, there's a huge prize in 2 weeks' time, and they'll be going for 3 kind of titles in a row, and that hasn't been done in many of the year in Galway. So look, a lot of probably negativity around the performance, but I think it's a huge wake up call for them. And look, Mayo coming to town in 2 weeks' time, and it'll be something to look forward to, and we all in Galway look forward to going to it.
Kieran, what did you make of Saturday?
Yeah, just like what Mike said there, I think when you're 14-13 down in 70 minutes and you pull it out of the bag, it's always going to be called a get out of jail card used. But I think, Galway won't be worrying too much about that now. They'll very much be focused on what's to come. And I think on, the grand scheme of things, I'd say the aims at the start of the year were to stay in Division 1, and they've done that, and to get back to a Connacht final, and they've done that. So I think it'll be very much focus on what's to come more so than what's gone. And I think on the positives, the last day, I think about 9-10 of the team that played against Kerry were on the pitch, and obviously now they've got minutes into Shane Walsh and Damien Comer, and that's going to be huge, for Mayo. So I think the get out of jail card is used, but I think there's a lot of positives in it, and there's a lot of objectives achieved by the Galway team up to this point.
Mike, did the slow start did that instantly kind of, I suppose, give us an indication of how this game was going to play out? Because Sligo started really fast. They went 4 points to no score up. Galway were struggling to score early on in that game.
Yeah, I think so. But I think you got to realise too as well, Galway were up in London there only 10 days ago or 12 days ago, and they stayed on for an extra few days, And I think, I suppose, they were only home on the Thursday or Friday, so they only already had 8 days, I suppose, back in this country trying to prepare for the game. I know a lot of work will be done out there. So they could have had a hard training camp too out there. Like, you don't know what they did out there, but and maybe that was the reason for the slow start. But I think Championship it can throw up funny things, and Sligo just started well, and they just threw the shackles off, and probably caught Galway on surprise a bit. Probably Galway weren't expecting it. And when you have the favourites tag, labelled it, that you're going to just hammer them out the gate, sometimes that can get into the players' heads, and it probably did. So, look, it's just, I suppose when you look back on it, it just they look back on it, but they'll be disappointed with the way they started. But they were just glad they got out of jail, to be honest.
Do you think it got inside the players' head, Kieran?
So, sorry, the Paul, you're breaking up.
Do you think, just as Mike says there, he said maybe it got inside the players' heads. Do you think that happened on Saturday?
Yeah, yeah, I'm not too sure. I think Sligo played really well, and I don't think they're getting enough credit. Because obviously there's a difference in Division One and Division Three. But I have a nines, Paddy O'Connor, Nathan Mullen, Canis Mulligan. They're all very good players, and Mike made a good point there. Like it was kind of like their All Ireland final, and they were hyped up and pumped up. But I think Galway would have been professional, and they just came up against a really good Sligo team on the day that got a run on them, and kept their head right up to the when they were keeping ball and they lost it and they conceded the goal. But it was a really good Sligo performance, and I think Galway were professional, but I think Sligo were really good on the day too, and had plenty of good players.
You talked there, Kieran, about the positives. Is the positives just that we stayed in this game because it could have been very easy for this side to throw in the towel when things weren't going well at all, and even till 70 minutes things weren't going well.
Yeah, and look, that's the sign of a good team. It shows good character, and they gritted it out. And they were in bother, like, they were, I think was it 14-11 on 58 minutes or something like that. But, they stayed the course, they stayed the process, and, they kept calm when that crucial moment came when Damo turned over that ball that resulted in Rob's goal. And there'll be huge satisfaction in that, they didn't give up and they stuck to the task at hand.
Is Robert Finnerty's performance the biggest positive, Mike, out of Sligo, considering he scored 1-5, only one of them, those coming from the place ball, 1-4 from play at the weekend?
Yeah, he was a standout performance. I suppose his celebration of the goal will get more attention than his performance.
Would
But
you would you ever do that, Mike?
geez, no, stop. Oh, stop. He's getting slated online about it. But look at they were probably coming down the bus and someone must have betted him, put a bet on with him if he got a goal to go and do something like that. But look, when you any day you score 1-5, I suppose he'd 5 points scored before he got the goal, so he was probably saying, "Sure, look at I'm probably getting on the match here, so I'll do something daft. I'm after getting the winning score." But it'd be a worry in one sense because the only other forward to score was Shane Welch that started, and that was only a point. And that'd be a worrying thing that no other forward scored. I think from play. So, but Robert Finnerty, but he's doing it. He's doing it for a few years. He's an outstanding corner forward, great left pegging him. And look, if he can chip in with 1-5 in his Sunday week in a kind of final, it'll go a long way to helping Galway trying to get over the line, But I was just worried about, let's say, he would only score pretty much outside Shane, and obviously Damien came on and scored 2 points. The real, although Robert scored 1-5, I think the real positive is Damien, the impact he had on the game. Like he was just terrific. Like everywhere he went, any ball he got, he just put the fear of God into all the Sligo defenders, and he does that, and it's just great to see him back on the pitch and hopefully fully fit now for kind of final.
What do you think's happening with Shane? Because at the weekend we didn't see him play the full game, Mike. Do you think it was just pre-planned before the game? Shane plays a certain amount of this. Damien obviously only plays a half. Shane, I think, plays 40 minutes. Do you think that was a pre-planned move before the game?
I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. Like if that was the case, or it mightn't have started him. I think Shane was just poor. He just played bad, and I think you wouldn't know there could be something up between himself and Porrick because I don't think you take a man of Shane Welch's talent off with 10 or 12 minutes to go and you're 2 or 3 points down. Like that way, you want your main man, starting in the last few minutes to pull something out of the bag. And I just think Shane is. I think the last while he just ever since the All Ireland, I think he's just in cloud cuckoo land, and I think fair enough, he transferred up to Dublin, and it's really been Kilmacood's gain, not Galway's gain, because I don't think he's performed since he's made the transfer. And fair enough, he's won his All Ireland and brilliant. He was probably one of the best players for Kilmacood the last 2 years, but he hasn't performed for Galway, and Port knows that. And I suppose all the travelling too, up and down to Dublin, and coming down from training up to training, and he's getting niggly little injuries, and like I don't know. I think his head's not all there. I seen him out in London before the game, and before the game going around taking pictures with kids, and I've nothing against that. Like, but you do that after the game. You don't do it before the game, and throw a pair of sunglasses on as if he was only a supporter at the game. So I question where Shane is heads at the moment, and he's. I'll tell you one thing: if he thinks he's going to get much room against Sligo the last day, he's in for an awful rude awakening the next day against Mayo when he's marking Paddy Durkin or Owen McLaughlin or Stephen Cohen or within one of them boys. That's when he'll really know he's in a game. And look, unless you have Shane Welsh the next day hitting 8, 9 out of 10 like performance, like you're in big bother. So I don't know. I think Park is right to take him off. I think he wasn't playing well, and he was dead right to take him off. And credit to where credit's due. Park made the right call, and fairness, Damien stood up and he was the main man. And for years I'd have always said Shane was the main man in Galway, the man that was there was no one to touch him. But for some reason, I just think Damien he's just more important to Galway at the moment because just the way he takes the fear of God into defenders is just unreal to say, and hopefully he can do that now Sunday week. So he is. But as regards Shane, he could turn around 2 weeks time and kick 5 points. That's the sort of player he is. But on the basis of the last few months and the last year and a half, he hasn't done a whole pot for Galway. No.
What do you think there, Kieran? Do you think that was pre-planned just with them both coming back from injury?
Yeah, I think it's just about getting minutes in the legs, and the last thing they want is a setback with either of them. So I do think it would have been planned carefully enough because Galway need Shane Walsh and they need Damien Comer, and Shane, Damo and Rob is, it's as formidable axis of forwards as you'll see in the country. And to beat Mayo, they're going to need all three of them, and they're going to need them firing. So I think it would have been tactful enough. I think they would have been planning to get a certain amount of minutes into them and to build up sharpness with the Connacht final to come.
Just on that, Kieran, Mike mentions there that Damien has become the main man for this Galway forward unit. How important do you think he is to the forward unit as a whole?
Oh, he's huge. Like he's a focal point. Like Mike is right. It completely shifted. The dynamic shifted when he came in. There was just energy about the forward straight away, and he gives them that target to hit. And he's a leader. He wants the ball. He wants to get on ball. And I think when he turned that ball over for the goal, it just shows the kind of player he is. Like he went for a goal. Galway needed, a point would have done, but he went for goal. He had the mindset to go for goal, and he would have took 20 of them on if they were there because that's what was needed at the time. Like he's a leader, he's a focal point, and he's absolutely vital to Galway.
Do we have no target man when he's not there?
I think because he's such a big influence on the team, and Shane and Rob are similar, I think, you can get used to having them in the team. So when they're not in the team, it becomes different. But, we didn't have them for the league, so we've got the chance to blood young lads like likes of Killian O'Curry and Liam McCaneela. They've all come in and they've got great experience. So there's been positives in that. But I think when he's not there, we do miss him, and the younger lads are just learning their trade at the minute. Their time will come, but right now, Damo is Shane, Rob. They're the leaders of that forward line.
I would say as well. I would say as well, though. I think I would push Johnny Heaney ahead of Shane Welsh. To be honest, Jeff, for what he's doing, like what a servant he's there, what a year he's having with Galway. Like he's absolutely outstanding, and I definitely have him up above Shane Welsh, but I suppose he plays different roles to Shane. But he's a huge part of Galway's forwards too as well.
Yeah. Like Shane, Rob, Damo, they can't function without the likes of Johnny Heaney and Cian Darcy this year doing that work. They're doing the thankless stuff that nobody wants to do, that doesn't grab the headlines. But without them, the star men can't shine. They're absolutely vital, pivotal to the Galway setup.
Just on what Kieran talks about there, the last play where we kind of grabbed that goal, Mike. The leadership of Comer, he hadn't passed it off to Johnny Heaney. Johnny Heaney plays it across, but to take that so long because he was a fair distance out when he got the ball out near the middle third, carries it into the edge of D. A Sligo lad tries to clock him, but he doesn't succeed, it's safe to say. But that leadership to show there was just tremendous for someone who's only back from injury.
Oh, it's brilliant, sure. Like Damien brings a presence, and Shane when he's playing a full tilt for Galway, like it's probably the difference in maybe qualifying for Division One final and in battling relegation, like as we've seen this year, like when you haven't got them. And when Damien came on, it was just he was the focal of everything. Like any ball he touched, the Sligo backs couldn't handle him. And probably if he starts the game, he probably would have got a goal or two in the first half. But if there was one plus to be taken from the last day, it's his performance and his performance only. He was just incredible. And plus, Damien's sort of player, you can bring him out to centre forward for a kick out. You can put him in. You can rotate. He can play in a few positions. Like I seen him when we played them in the club championship last year. He kicked around 10 points. Like it's just unbelievable. Like you couldn't mark him. We're double marking. You still can't mark him. And like I think if he can just get the supply the next day, and if Mayo can just sit back, or if Galway can just sit back and hit Mayo on the counter attack and get quick ball into Damien, and you have Robert and maybe Shane coming off Damien's shoulder. If they can just click, it'll be just you just wouldn't know how you'd they click up front and get a win.
Yeah, and he attracts so much attention too. Like you have to play a +1 if Damien Comer's there. You have to double up on him, if not treble up on him. So that gives other players then more freedom to play. So he's vital. And as I said, if he's attracting loads of attention, then other players get to shine. And like I said, Johnny Heaney, Paul Conroy, Sean Kelly, all their games will flourish with him attracting so much attention.
Mm.
Just on that, Borg was speaking after the game and he said that there was a few home truths in the dressing room before he came back out to do his press duties. Kieran, as a coach and a manager, do you park that straight away immediately after Saturday and just forget about it and move on straight away to the Connacht final? Or how do you think the group and management would have reflected on that?
Yeah, I think they'll take the learnings. I think they'll know they need to tidy up a few of the turnovers and they can be more clinical in front of goal. But I think that's it. I think they'll take the learnings and move on. I think it's all going to become about Mayo and what's ahead, and it'll be very much back to basics. They'll be back to working on what their fundamentals are in terms of with and without the ball, getting their kick out ready, getting their press ready, and I think they'll take the learnings, park it, move on. They're too professional to be dwelling on things like that, and they've been to too high a stage and they know what they're about and they know what they want to achieve. So I think it'll be back to basics and working on as I said, their fundamentals for 2 weeks' time.
Where are we at now, Mike?
Yeah, we know in 2 weeks' time, won't we? We play Mayo where we're at, but I think we're just struggling for form. I suppose Park has said a few home truths. He's dead right about that. You want to give them a few reality checks and tell them where they are. Like they don't have 4 or 5 All-Ireland medals in their back pocket. A few of them only have underage medals, and some of them have nothing. So I seen them abroad in London coming out after the game, and geez, you swear there were soccer stars walking out. Like they're only normal lads coming from rural clubs. Like at the end of the day, and I be just Horg is on there, but the home truths, and he's dead right. And they just, as Kieran said, get back to basics the next day and get your fundamentals of the game right, your hand passing, your kick passing, and there's only one thing they need to pack in the gear bag Sunday week, and that's their attitude. Because I didn't see much of it the last day, and I see it's a catch-22. If they win the next day, like they're after winning 3 titles in a row. So how can you question that? All the league, it all goes out the window. I think Sean Og was on a few weeks ago with me, and he was saying like a week in politics is a long time. 2 weeks in football is a long time. When you play another game, so it'd be hard to argue if they turn up Sunday week and beat Mayo in a Connacht final, and they're after winning 3 titles in a row. So they'll be in pole position going into the All Ireland series then. But as regards All Ireland contenders, you don't know if you're Derry were All Ireland contenders, and Donegal met small men of them last Saturday above in above him, Celtic Park. So you don't know, but I just got the feeling it's going to be a huge game because listening to Kevin McStay after the game, the last day against Roscommon, like he's really targeting this Connacht title. Like he's not going to be holding back. He said he wants to win this Connacht title, so it's it's going to be a huge game and it's going to be a huge ask for Galway. But I'd be slightly confident behind it all. I think if he had a few quiet words in Shane Welch's ear and Damien, if he can continue that 10 minutes that he did, he gave a glimpse the last table on Sligo. Rob Finnerty scored 1-5. You're going to get an 8 out of 10 performance every day off Johnny Heaney. King Darcy, okay, he went quiet for periods last day, but he did all right to a degree in the first half, and he wasn't too bad. So maybe midfield might be an area. It's just a pity having Killy McDade to come in there in midfield, and I think we're just lacking a bit of legs. Paul Conroy's he's turned 35 this month. Like it's hard to expect him to go in Pearse Stadium and play 75 minutes of football the next day at that level, like up against whoever, Jack Coyne or Matthew Ruan. So I think if there's one area in the field where we're just, I think, a bit lacking, is probably in around the middle for a bit of legs. But look, who knows? Who knows? The ultimate test is coming again, Mayo, and look, we know where we are in Sunday week.
Kieran, on this Galway team between league and championship have only beaten Mayo once in 8 meetings. Does this Connacht final become bigger because this group haven't been used to beating Mayo?
Yeah, I think Galway Mayo always takes a life of its own anyway, doesn't it? It's just a great rivalry, and I think for what you just said there, Galway will be mad to win it. I think Mayo are definitely mad to win it. I think there isn't many people that haven't seen Kevin McStay's video message calling out the Mayo roar for Pearse Stadium in 2 weeks' time. So I think both are going to be dying to win it, and it takes a rivalry on, like, it's on par with as good as any rivalry that you'll see out there. So I think both will be dying to win it, and it makes for a great game. It'll be a good tactical battle. I'm really looking forward to it.
But I do think as well that, like, I think this is it for Porrick now. Like, I really do. You'd be on about, he's been in big games in the past on All Ireland final 2 years ago. But as regards where he is at as a manager in his fifth year, I think it's all on the line Sunday week. Like, because
particularly we haven't won in Pearse Stadium this year.
Yeah, and I think exactly, Paul. But I think just for Porrick himself as a management team, if he got over that, if he could grab a 10 out of 10 performance out of this Galway group of players Sunday week and get a win, it'll be huge. The chest will be out Sunday evening, going down to Salthill Hotel if he gets the win, and if he doesn't, he's not stupid either. Like Paul, he'll be under pressure,
Yeah, whoever wins it is going to be in a great position. Like Porrick is going to be mad to win it. It puts in a great position heading into the next stage of the All Ireland. For McStay then and his management team, that's another year down, and they haven't won it, and they're new wind, so they'll be mad to win it as well. Like there's so many context to it. It only adds to the intrigue of what's to come. But if Galway win it, form and Pearse Stadium records and records against Mayo, that'll all go out the window. They'll have won a big game in the big rivalry, and we'll all be happy on that Sunday evening.
It's important, Kieran, to put that to bed.
Yeah, it is. It is important. It is important, and I think we will see. I think we will see a different Galway when they play Mayo in Pearse Stadium. I think last year, we all know about the injuries coming into the game, and the preparation wasn't ideal, but I think they've been slowly building. As I said, was there 9, 10, maybe 11 players that played against Kerry on the field the last day. The injuries are starting to clear. Lads are starting to get minutes. They know Mayo, and Mayo know them. I think they definitely bring the best out in each other, and I think Galway will be very confident that they have the game plan for Mayo. I think if they get back, get set up, they slow that Mayo counter-attack, they bring them in the trenches. As I said, I think they have the forwards in on the other end to do the damage. I think Mayo will be prioritising when Galway attack in huge numbers to try and turn them over, to try and break into that unstructured defence, open country. So as I said, if Galway can get numbers back, and get set up and slow Mayo down and bring them in the trenches, I think we're in for a cracker, and it's vital. It's really important that they turn them over and I suppose set all them records straight. But I think they're very capable of doing it. Yeah, I'm quietly confident. I think we're going to see a different Galway, as I said.
Do you see them going back to that +2 that they've often played, where the two wing backs sit back on the edge of the D?
I think, like look at Jim McGuinness the last day with Derry. There was so many similarities to when he was there before, even with just the kick out. Like if it's not broken, why go away from it? Why overcomplicate things? I think if Galway slow Mayo down and set up and get set up and send them down them blind alleyways and get their doubles and treble ups, like I think it'll be hugely beneficial. So I think why would you not set up that way? Why would you not aim to bring them into the trenches? It mightn't be for the purist and it mightn't be what people want, but if it's going to produce a victory and we just, we're all talking here that it's a much needed victory, then it's definitely, why wouldn't you do it? I think get set up, as you said, if it's a +2, a +1, whatever it is on the day, but it will be a defensive setup. Get that, slow Mayo down. I think it'll be hugely profitable for Galway. So I definitely think we will see it.
Mike, interested to get your views on the makeup of the forward line for the Connacht final. We seen Liam O'Keefe and Jack McCabe in there. They couldn't get much space really the last day against Sligo in attack. Is this a day where you have to go back to experience and players here that are used to playing against Mayo in the Connacht Championship?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely, Paul. I fully believe Damien will come in there corner forward probably for Jack McCabe, and I'd even see if Carl Sweeney was fit, he could come in with for Liam O'Keefe as well, and I think he'll be just the three boys will be up front, and Robert Shane and Damien, and you could see John Heaney and Carl Sweeney being the two wing forwards, and maybe Keane Darcy being out around the middle as well, like you know. Oh, it will be a day. It'll be back to the old guard now, I think, for this one, to be honest, yeah. And I think if Pádraig has any sense, he'll go as close to that 2022 All Ireland final winning team, or All Ireland, the team that got to the All Ireland final in 22, as he possibly can. And just hopefully he'll try and get a performance out of them, and it's as simple as that.
If Carl Sweeney isn't fit, do you go with someone like a Daniel O'Flaherty or Kieran Malloy?
Yeah, I would say Kieran Malloy, yeah, definitely would. Yeah, I think he's a player for the big day, even though he might have struggled for form and a few injuries the last while, but he's definitely a huge experience, huge player for Galway and Corofin down through the years, and like it's horse for courses, and you can't just throw a lad like Jack McCabe into a game at the magnitude of this. I think, and I think you should just really go for experience for this one.
How do you see the forward unit looking, Kieran?
Well, like in an ideal world, you'll have Damo, Shane, and Rob on at the same time, and like Johnny Heaney, Keane Darcy. I'd say that could be the majority of the makeup of it. Whether Shane and Damo are in from the start, that remains to be seen. Like you could have Jack McCabe, you could have Liam O'Keefe in from the start. Um, but I'd say with Mayo, you got to get the lead, you got to control the scoreboard, and you are at home, so you want to set the tone. So they might go front heavy at the start, and we could see all the stairs unloaded, and maybe the fresher, younger legs to come in to finish it out.
With those young fellas coming in to finish it out, it's obviously a challenge for them, even the last day. As a management, how do you keep these young fellas' confidence going with the way things went for them the last day here?
You just put no pressure on them. I don't think Porrick will be putting any pressure on them. But like Liam O'Keefe, Jack McCabe, Killian O'Curran, these are good footballers, and they know they're good footballers. So you just got to keep reaffirming that and keep putting belief and confidence in them. But the bottom line is they're playing at the level, which means they're good enough. And if you're good enough, you're old enough. And that the fact that they're going to be named and touted for Galway should give them enough confidence and belief. And look, growing up to be playing in Mayo, the rival, the old foe, in Pearse Stadium with so much on the line, that's exactly what they dreamed of. I'd say they're lapping it up. I'm sure Mike, when he was getting ready for his, early days in Galway is the exact same. Like they're too young at the minute to have fear. So I think Porrick will be just, filling them with belief, telling them how good they are, and hopefully they're buying into that and they know that themselves.
Do you see 1 to 9 sticking the same, Mike?
Oh, I'd say so because, in fairness, Conor Gleeson isn't having a bad year. Probably one of the better years. He's been fairly okay in goal. The full back line seems to be steady. Jack Lynn is back from injury. The half back line, I know you could make changes and put Liam Silpack cornerback and put in Kieran Malloy, but the half back line's as good as half back line as you'll see in the country, I think. And like midfield, the only change you make to midfield is to bring Killy McDade in, but if he's injured, he's injured. And he's a huge loss. But 1 to 9 will stay the same. I can't see any changes, but I could see one or two changes up front because I think we're going to have to stop this Mayo half back line bombing up and down the field. And I think it'll be a big day for Johnny Heaney and whoever playing the other wing forward to track all them runners going up the field.
From working with Sean Kelly, do you think he's being played in his best position, Kieran?
Yeah, the funny thing with Sean is, norm it doesn't matter where you play him, he usually gives a performance. He's just one of them players. I love seeing him in the full back line. I think it gives him the whole pitch in front of him, and he can time his runs and he can come late. And I think it just all plays out in front of him when he's in that full back line. And like if Sean Kelly's coming towards you and you're an inside forward, your heart is broke because now you have to track him for the day, and it's not easy. It's not an easy task. Track Sean Kelly. I think you can play him anywhere where I love to see him, where I think he's most effective is in that full back line. But wherever you put that lad, he's going to perform. Like he's a class act.
Do you
I
see
thought
him
you
not going back to full back now?
It's like I can see why he's playing them there, because if you look at the backs, Mike said it there, that half back line is awesome. And like Johnny McGrath is a revelation. Fitz is solid as a rock, and Jack Lynn, sure we all know his pedigree. So like there's a luxury there in that back line that you can play Sean Kelly at midfield, and he'll be just as effective. He's just one of them players. It doesn't matter where you play him. He's going to give it all. He's going to influence the game. Like I'm just saying, from my perspective, ideally, I think he's extremely, extremely profitable from the full back line. But it's like, how do you change that back six to accommodate him? Like,
I
you
think
can't.
the only way you do it, Kieran, is maybe if you had Killian McDade fit in midfield, that you would put Killian McDade in with Paul Conroy and maybe playing a Sean Kelly wing forward, dropping back, and
Yeah,
that frees him up. I think that's the only way it could work. It could work Sean Kelly, but as you said yourself, he's just such a terrific player, and so he's such a mobile player, and his fitness levels are huge. And I'd have him up at the same pedestal as Damien Comer. Like that's probably
uh,
why he's captain. Like he's just a great leader and a great footballer. It's just a shame he went through a bit of period there with injury.
yeah, he's a phenomenal player. He's a phenomenal player. And I think like if you were to say McDade comes back and then you can move Sean Kelly up a line or put him 15, bring him back out around. Like there's a lot of talent in that Galway team and on that bench all of a sudden that you can only get confident about what's to come down the tracks. If we can hit a bit of form, and you'll only hit form playing games, and they're going to come
Mm.
thick and fast now.
I think that's the biggest thing Porrick has to instill in the players the next 2 weeks, lads. It's performance, and just instill this confidence. Like, because when you look through, the full back line, the half back line, you know, talk about if Kenny McDade come back midfield. You look at some of the forwards, like Jesus, if they could get a bit of form, it doesn't know what they do, like, but it's hard to pin what they're lacking, like.
Carl Sweeney, John Mayer, Tom Moycullen, Matthew Tierney, and Killian McDade all missed last week. Do you bring any of them back in, or is it going to be too big of a step up now from being injured to talking out for a Connacht final?
Well, I think you see a similar approach to what you're seeing with Shane and Damo. I think if them lads are fit, it'll be a gradual approach, and it'll be whatever the minute is decided by the medical team, and that's the way they'll do it. They'll introduce them gradually, and like it'll be a huge benefit if the injuries are starting to clear and these lads are starting to get on the pitch. But I don't think anyone Yeah, you don't know. It depends on the injury, but can you parachute anybody in against Mayo that didn't play against Sligo? It's a big call. It's a big call.
Do you think any of them were held in reserve at the weekend?
You hope so. You'd only love to see it, and I think like Maher's work rate, Sweeney's pace. That's exactly what you'd like against the likes of Mayo. Like Sweeney's a line breaker. Like he's perfect for the likes of Mayo. But I don't know where Matty's at. Matty Tierney's at. I haven't heard anything on the injury, so um, that'd be a huge bonus as well. But sure, look, it's all speculation until we see that program. We won't know where any of these lads are at because the shop is very much closed
Ano-
in camp.
another player, lads, at James McLaughlin as well from Moycullen. Like, terrific player. I seen him last year when we played them. Great player, but he seems to be injured a lot this year. Like, so I was just thinking in like
He's actually on
mid
Erasmus at the
season.
minute.
Oh, is he? He's not around. He's not
Yeah,
there. Is he?
yeah.
He was in
College,
London though. Yeah.
yeah, college commitments have
All right.
not involved at the minute, but yeah, well, for
Same,
now,
same with Kieran as well.
yeah, yeah, the two guys are on Erasmus, so like, sure, look at, it's an
They might.
embarrassment of riches, isn't
They might better off.
it? They'll have plenty of fun anyway.
Just on this, because there's going to be a big conversation at the minute. Are Galway struggling for form, or are they timing their run? Mike, how do you see it? Do you think timing your run's a load of crap and you just can't flick a switch and turn on your form whenever you want it?
Yeah, I think they're struggling for form. I think it was evident. Like I think you seen Porrick the last day he was getting agitated on the line. Like he wasn't timing his run. I tell you, the last day with 10 minutes to go and the 3 points down, and he roared and shouting from the sideline. They're struggling for form. You can picture it a lot. It's hard to put your finger on it. Like Porrick's there 5 years. Same management's there 5 years. James strength conditioning's there 5 years. Same medical team's there 5 years. Is are they getting? Is it getting a bit stale? Is it getting? So you hit a poor league, had a great start to the county championship, but that's I put it down to a poor run of form. They're just struggling big time for for form, and to come out, you're coming up again maybe a top three, top 14 the next day, and it's going to be hard to turn it around, especially with we having a great Park hasn't a great record again Mayo. I think he's only beaten them once, but Galway Mayo game will take off a life on its own, as Kieran said earlier. So you would just hope, and I think you're going into the game more hope than expectation. You're hoping these lads will turn it around. You're hoping Shane Welsh will take his head out of the clouds and realise, we're in a Connacht final. I heard last year he showed up late to the pre-match meal for the Mayo game last year. Like, come on, like we want him to go up to Pearse Stadium the next day, kick 7 or 8 points, kick 45s in his sleep. That's the standard. He said we're putting him up in the pedestal the same as David Clifford and Conor Callan. It's time for him to start delivering. It's time for him to start forgetting about the final of 22 and land another kind of title with Galway, because and I believe he can do that if he wants to. Like, it's just I'm not being hard on him, or I want him to go up and kick 7 points the next day, like, So like, if we can get them by Fard and Damien Comer taking on these lads up front, like, we're a different outfit. But I think the players have to look at themselves anyway. I think I've always said it, like, I've been through so many managers all my career, like, and I've never once you needed a manager to motivate me or to go to the gym or go train, and it has to come from the players. And I think this performance has to come from the players. They have to just get it together and try and get a performance for Porrick and the management team Sunday week. And it'll be just above any game the Porrick has played that are managed the last few years. This will be a sweet one to get over on Mayo, because Mayo are kind of building something as well with Kevin McStay, and the pressure's on Porrick, but it's kind of on Kevin McStay as well, because they had a disappointing year last year as well. They got well bit by Dublin in Croke Park in the quarterfinals, so they were under pressure down there as well to land this kind of title. So if Porrick could turn them over, it'd be a bittersweet one for him. Like.
Do you see it as struggling for form as well, Kieran?
Yeah, I can understand the form. debate. Like I think if that goal doesn't go in, we're definitely struggling for form. But I keep going back to the bigger picture thing. Like I'm trying to persuade myself maybe. I just think they are where they would have wanted to be. Like, they stayed in Division One and they're in a Connacht final. And now is the time to be hitting form, just like what Mike said. And the players just have to appreciate that and they have to grasp it. But now very much is the time to hit form. Like, and I think like it won't be just an idea. It'll be very much a discussion if it doesn't go their way, and Mayo, take a victory in Pearse Stadium. But right now, I'm thinking they are where they would have wanted to be, and I think they have a great chance to go on a run here. And what a way to springboard it! Like Mayo at home in a derby, like it's just. Yeah, it'll come back to the players, and the players appreciate. And now's the time to go on that run. The injuries are cleared, and yeah, I'm thinking I'll leave the form debate for one more game. I'll have no choice but to engage in it after this. But I'm thinking they are where they want to be, and they're getting the players they need, and they're on the field at the right time. So it'll all will be revealed anyway soon enough.
What's done in the next 2 weeks?
Like we spoke about earlier, it's back to basics for them. They're just going to be working on what to do with and without the ball and getting their kickouts ready. Their kick out and their opposition kick out. If you can work on an opposition kick out for Pearse Stadium, like, because who knows what the wind is going to blow or how hard it's going to blow or in which direction. And that'll be it. They'll be just getting their game plans ready. And as I said, bigger picture stuff. Both teams, I'd say, have been targeting this Connacht final and playing each other since the draw has been made. So I think Galway will be getting ready to set up and turn Mayo over. And Mayo will be coming with this hard running, and they seem to be combining and a lot of kicking with it at the minute. You could see clear indications of kicking to depth to Ryan O'Donoghue. So it'll be very much process driven. They'll leave all the rivalry and the crack to the likes of us, the spectators. They'll be just going through what they're going to do without the ball, kickouts, opposition kickouts, and we'll be hyping it up.
Just one thing I want to get both of your views on just before we look briefly at the 20s semi. The fly keepers at the weekend were definitely a talking point. What did you make of it all, Mike, seeing Owen Lynch out the field, Brendan Rodgers behind him for the kick out and getting caught out on multiple occasions? Is it finally going to go where a keeper now decides to stay in his goals, or do you still see teams sticking with it?
Well, like it's an awful simple way to answer it. Like, I honestly think it's a bit of a circus, really, like to see the goalie out the line. But I'll put it like this to you: Stephen Cluxton has 9 All-Irelands, and I'd say he never came out past the 21. Bare when he ran up the field to kick a free. So like that'll give you the answer. Like, I don't think it works. It has its advantages, but like your man took the piss out of it the last day, like going up contesting kickouts and everything. Like, sure, I don't know what the management were doing. They didn't send a message in to stay back when it happened the second time. Fair enough, it happened the first time, but it happened the second time. You do away with it. You got the first time was fine, second time, and then it's over. Like the third time or the fourth time, that's when he contested the kick out. Like, so like I definitely think to be more cautious anyway going forward. And I think it'll be interesting to see what Derry do with the next year. I'd say he'll be staying in goal the next year.
That's what I couldn't get over. I couldn't, like, what we all know that Derry do that and it's a tactic they employ, but I could not get over how they just didn't start conceding the kick out. That they persisted with it. Whatever, like as you said, once you're stung twice, surely just put in a message that we're going to keep the keeper in goal and even go as far as just give Donegal the short kick out, because it was just on repeat, that long kick out into that overload and that
Yeah,
touchdown. Just like when he was there before, like, and that's that point I was making. He clearly doesn't think that's broken, so he maintained it again the same way. I think if Galway know how to beat Mayo, just shut up shop. If they do the same, they could get joy.
and I think if you listen to Kevin McStay the last day after the interview, he did.
Yeah, he defended it.
He defended it. Like, it could be something Galway could look at in 2 weeks' time too. Like, if the Mayo goalie come out the field, he really defended it. Like he was all for it to a degree. Like no one sees the positives. Everyone was talking about the negatives. What happened in the Derry game? So could be something poor I could look at. Let's say in 2 weeks' time, it might happen. It'd be funny if it happened for they got a goal or two out of it. No
I
better
can,
man to do it. I don't know, Jamie Comer or someone.
I can even like I can understand defending it, but I just keep coming back to I just can't understand how they didn't abandon the tactic when
Yeah,
it was backfiring so badly.
yeah, exactly.
I think those that do it won't be changing tact. I think it'll be very much staying the same.
Yeah. I tell you, when you think of when you look back, Derry's probably heads were all over the place. They couldn't believe what was happening, like because it was probably supposed to be a straightforward win for them, and sure they didn't know what they were at really towards the end of the game. They were just, I'd say, their heads were well gone by the time the fourth goal went in. So
And
I
then
hope we
again,
do it again, Norway.
that comes back to like Derry were being loaded coming into that game, and Ulster was just going to be a procession, like they were going to win it, and they were miles ahead. And next thing, people were saying how ordinary they looked, So that it's that form question again. If Galway go and beat Mayo, there'll be no talk of
Yeah,
form, or there'll be no talk of
no,
greatness. Like it's amazing how quick it changes in sport. That's I suppose half the
yeah,
reason we do it.
yeah,
Please God, we can quieten those noisy neighbours. But before we do finish, just to get into the 20 semis, go have to play Sligo tomorrow on DG Cahir. They've already beaten them, but Kieran, the challenge here is in 20s. Well, this Connacht under 20 championship has been bananas. Mayo have somehow ended up in a Connacht B under 20 final, but everyone was beating each other. But the challenge here now for Galway to beat the same team twice in this provincial championship.
Yeah, yeah. It's been a brilliant championship. The games have been brilliant. I've been at a good few of them now with Don Canillan, and we've really enjoyed our road trips following it. They're just so even, and like that's the big challenge for going now. They have to go and put back to back against Sligo, who were really impressive in the second half against Mayo. I thought the last day, and they looked back to their best in terms of what they do best. Sitting back, getting numbers behind the ball, and countering. And but Galway at the same time will take confidence that they played really well in tune against them, and they seem to be in good form. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a good game, and I think the winner will come from that game, from the semi final. I think Galway or Sligo, whoever wins that game will, as much as Roscommon people won't like to hear that, I think the whoever wins that game will win the provincial.
It's safe to say, Kieran, there's been challenges for Derek and his management. Sean Birmingham and Glenn Kelly both leaving the panel. Brian Mitchell then hasn't seen game time, and there's been one or two injuries on top of that for this group. So it hasn't been exactly straightforward for the management who've come in.
Yeah, but like I suppose it's no different to any other management. There's speed bumps along the way. You rarely ever have your full hand, and if you do, it won't be for long. So you just have to adapt, and I think that's what they've had to do all along this Connacht campaign. I think they've done it quite well. And again, if you go back, I'd say what were the objectives? To be here at this stage of the year, and they are, and I don't think they'll fear the challenge. But yeah, there's definitely been speed bumps, but I'm sure they've learned from them.
Matthew Thompson here, Mike, and Colin Costello, they're just absolutely crucial to this under 20 team.
Yeah, they're two great footballers. I'm really lucky to have the Thompson lad. People rate one the Costello being Costello and Milton, but super player, super player. So if they can hit form, it's a bit like Shane and Damien next Sunday. If they can hit form tomorrow evening, like they go a long way getting to a kind of final. So hopefully now it should be a good game. But Sligo are doing a lot of work with underage down there, so it'll be huge for them if they could get over Galway. And the fact that they lost the seniors last Saturday, they could be mad to win this one and prevail to a kind of final.
How do you see it going tomorrow evening, lads?
I think if Galway get control of the scoreboard early and get a lead, Sligo will have to come out and play a bit more. And I think that'll really benefit Galway. I think when Galway got the lead last day in Tuam and Sligo had to come out, Galway did serious damage. They were that bit more exposed. If Sligo get the lead, and Sligo, the college team, Summerhill, like they're all playing the same way. Like they sit really deep and they break at huge speed. And if if they have the scoreboard on site, like it's so hard to play against. Like it takes huge patience because it's torture. Like you just have to you cannot give up the ball because that's what they're going to prey on. They're going to break at huge speed. So I think if Galway can get out fast and get the likes of Maddie going early and get Costello going early and like the two tune lads, Ian and Collar, and I've been hugely impressed with. And there was an unbelievable roar in the stadium the last day when McGlinchey got that point. So I think if Galway can get out fast and get their forward unit going and get control of the scoreboard, I think they'll have a huge chance. But that'll be vital. That'll be vital because it's really hard play against Sligo. And you could see it in the 20s game the last day. Like when they got going against Mayo in the second half, they're hard running. Like it's something else.
How do you
Yeah,
see it going, Mike?
just hopefully Galway get out the blocks early and as Kieran said, get on top of them early because Sligo play a defensive game and they hit you on the counter attack. So if we can get we some great forwards in Galway, we always produce good forwards, but but we hopefully we can get through it and it'd be great to get to another Connacht semi final. It'd be great for Derek and the management team.
That's it. That's that game tomorrow between Galway and Sligo. Under 20 Connacht semi-final. The winner plays Roscommon then. But that's all we do time for on today's show. Thanks to Kieran and Mike for coming on.